So how is it possible? Double standards, okay, double standards. How is it possible that if you don't tell the students about the test and you give students a test, it's wrong? But if the headmaster doesn't tell you that she's going to test you, it's okay. Because if there is evidence but you cannot show the evidence, then you have to assume the evidence doesn't exist because you can't see it. There's a right to know. Yeah, and I think that everybody has a right to know about things concerning them. Um, so if anyone makes an accusation about anyone, there's the one of the fundamental principles of a free and fair society is a right to confront your accuser. This is why courts exist. Now, I'm not saying that we should always go to court. That's long and complicated and difficult and expensive and creates a lot of bad feeling. But the principle is good. The principle of the right to face your accuser. Yeah, the right to stand opposite the person who has said negative things about you and challenge those negative things is a fundamental principle in a free and fair society. If that option does not exist, then you might as well go back to the times of Genghis Khan and just maraud and slaughter your way across Europe because um, the right of the to balance the information is extremely important. To balance the situation is extremely important, and you counter arguments with arguments. It's you don't um, counter arguments by putting more pressure on the accused. I mean, unless you want to make a problem. The whole principle of a contract is that it places limitations on the people in the contract. That's the whole principle of contract. The whole reason that you have a contract as an employer is so that you can fire your employee. That's the whole reason for having a contract. In order to have a free-flowing system and a progressive system, a developmental system, and to create the right elements of pressure, you have to be able to fire your employees. You have to. It's a fundamental principle of employment. Um, the One of the secrets to sustained business success is the ability to hire and fire quickly. Let's say I'm the headmaster and you're the teacher and say that I don't want you in my school. Then I ask you to come into my office and we sit down and we talk and we say, we have issues, we have problems, right? The school situation is this, our situation in management is this, the teacher situation is this. Now, it looks like over a period of time, we are going to have to fire you. Now, obviously, it's going to look bad on your record if we fire you. So perhaps the best thing that could happen is that you would offer your resignation and we would come to some what's the word? I'm thinking like unanimous, not unanimous, something where it's good on both sides. I can't remember the word for that right now, but we would come to some adequate arrangement where both parties are satisfied and happy with this. That's what an intelligent person would do, right? Because you see the problem coming, and then you start to think about, okay, what is the best way to solve this problem? Let's talk to everybody. Let's see what everybody thinks about it. Let's see if we can find a way as adults to navigate this problem um, with a resolution for everyone, or or alternatively, you just sabotage the whole situation, which doesn't do any good for anybody because it just creates negative feeling. I mean, the best the best way to deal with the problem is to open up the problem to other people so that they can offer their solutions. Because say for example I'm the headmaster and you're the teacher, I have to understand that maybe you have information that I don't have. Maybe you can find a solution that I can't. And as a headmaster, I want to help you. I don't want to ruin you. And as a headmaster, I realize that if I fire you, then anyone who looks at your reference or contacts your previous employer will learn that this person was fired. Obviously, that's going to destroy their reputation and be extremely negative, and we don't want to create a negative situation for somebody who's put time, effort, and energy into helping our institution. So these are difficult waters to navigate, but um, if enough people know enough information, then there's a possibility that we can navigate this to a positive conclusion for everybody. We don't want to create negativity. Obviously, there'll be some people who are more happy than others. That's the way that it works. But the whole point of me being a headmaster is to manage things in the best way possible. That makes difficult situations for everybody. We have to deal with that all the time. Like when there's a new post and a new job, maybe 10, 15 people want the job, maybe more. We have to choose just one person. That means making 14, 15 people unhappy and one person happy. This is this is a sad part of the work that we do, but we have to do it, and I want to deal with this personally because I respect you. There are other organizations that when they have this problem, they bring in a specialist from the outside to fire people, right? They bring in a specialist. There's a great film about that. I think it's Up in the Air with George Clooney, where he plays the specialist who's brought in by the corporations to fire people. A really terrible job, and no one wants to do it. So amicable arrangement, that's the term. An amicable arrangement where everybody gets something positive out of it. Not everything positive, but something positive. So, so that's what I would do. If you cannot select your employees, if you cannot hire and fire, if you cannot select your friends, right? Imagine your two friends that you have when you're 5 years old are your friends for life and you can't have any more friends. That's just stupid. And so to run an organization like that is also stupid. Um, it's it doesn't make any sense. And so when you force people who don't like each other to work together, the result is conflict.